Hi, Eddie. How you doing, buddy?
Let me know when we're ready to go.
Ready?
Good. Good evening. I would like to call to order the Oregon City Council regular meeting for July 28, 2025. The time is 7 p.m. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call of council members?
Mrs. Ackerman? Here. Mr. Drake?
Here.
Mr. Horniak?
Here.
Mrs. Pauloff? Here. Mr. Reeves?
Here.
Mr. Solander?
Here.
Mr. Wallensack?
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. I was once going to say Rawson. Thank you, Ms. Snyder. All council people are present tonight. Also present at tonight's meeting is Mayor Michael Safarian, our city administrator Joel Major, clerk of council Josette Snyder, our law director Melissa Papora, public service director Paul Roman, police chief Brandon Began, assistant police chief Ryan Spangler, our fire chief Clayton O'Brien, assistant fire chief Mark Mullins, our finance director Nick Roman, and director of IT Ken Meister. Our next order of business is to approve the minutes from the July 14th, 2025 regular council meeting and July 21st, 2025 committee of the whole. There was a typo on the sheet and it has been corrected. It said June 14th, but it has been changed to July 14th. So council members will seek a motion.
So move.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak.
Drake. Mr. Drake.
Mr. Drake, thank you, Mr. Drake.
I will second.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Does anyone have any objections? Meeting minutes are accepted as presented. Our first item on the agenda is our persons of delegations. We have one person that is signed in. That is Frances Wilbur. Ms. Wilbur, if you would please come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Frances Wilbur, 3226 North Eastmoreland Drive. I come up because last week I spoke and I mistakenly said the wrong city. When I said the city of Toledo wanted to put in industrial park, they didn't buy up Oregon Homes. They bought up all the Ironville homes. They totally diminished. Everybody had to move. No one could stay. Or an industrial park sat empty for 50 years. 50 years. I lived there with my grandma, my great-grandma, I mean, we're talking generations of people that lived in Oregon for an industrial park that just came with the new business. That's the first time they did the industrial park. And I guess where I get my bullheadedness from is my great-great-uncle was the last man standing there. He refused to sell his home. These people were a community, just like the people that bought and the people that have lived in their house their whole life. They're our community, and we're just like, sorry, we've got something better that we don't even have anything signed on. So what's going to happen if all these people sell their houses, move, and there isn't anything? Do we have a backup plan? That's my question. Do we have a backup plan? And do we have any signed contracts? Because I know numerous times this council has went without a contract. And that's a big no-no. And I know we all know what I'm talking about. But also, Mr. Safarian's idea for an amphitheater, I went by there, it is so awesome, that big hill. We lived in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, right by Red Rocks Amphitheater. And, I mean, that would just be the perfect spot. That would be like the ideal spot to have one. You've got all the parking from the park, and I'm sure you've got Eagles Landing would allow like overflow parking there. But we could bring in some concerts, because for those you do charge. You know, when you're talking an amphitheater, people know they're gonna pay, because they're going to a concert. And you can get a lot of good people for concerts. And what better than to look over Lake Erie? Just a thought, just a thought. You know, that skating rink out there would be awesome. My great nephew loves hockey, and the parents, it's a traveling league, because there's nowhere around here that has a rink that they can play, you know, play games on. They have to go to Detroit, Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and they have to pay for it. I mean, but that's another thing that I really think are, again, I'm focusing on the kids, because we got a lot of parents with a lot of kids coming up. People moving here have kids, and if there ain't nothing for their kids to do, it ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna draw what we wanna draw. So, that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Wilbur. We're gonna go a little off schedule here. We're gonna go first with the mayor's report. He has a couple of appointments that we wanna get through this afternoon. So, Mr. Mayor, please.
I am going to start with the Administrative Assistant 1 position, and I'm going to ask council's concurrence in the Administration Assistant 1 in the Fire Department, appointment to Kimberly Vakulik. And Ms. Vakulik will be placed at step 5, PSTE pay grade 19, hourly rate $37.09, annual salary of $77,145.90. The effective startup date will be August 18th, 2025, and I would ask council's concurrence in that appointment. Kimberly Vakulet. Did I say that right? And Kimberly lives at 5436 Pickle Road, Oregon, Ohio.
Council.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Pauloff.
I move to concur with the mayor's appointment of Kimberly Vakulik, did I say it right? Thank you. As administrative assistant for the fire department, starting Monday, August 18th.
Thank you, Ms. Pauloff. Second by Mr. Drake. Council, any objections? Hearing none, Mayor, council concurs.
Well, with Kimberly moving out to the fire department, that left a void in Melissa's office. And so to fill that position, I'm going to ask council's concurrence in the appointment of Jeanette Root of 3149 Stafford Drive, Oregon, Ohio, to Administrative Assistant 1 in the Law Department, to be placed at the PSTE pay range 19, Step 5, $37.09 an hour, $77,145.90. The startup date would be August 4th, 2025, and I once again ask council's concurrence in the appointment of Jeanette Root to Administrative Assistant 1 in the Law Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Council.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Pauloff.
I move to concur with the mayor's appointment of Jeanette Root as administrative assistant for the law department, effectively starting August 4th.
Thank you, Mrs. Pauloff.
Second.
Second by Mr. Drake. Council, any objections? Hearing none, Mayor, council concurs.
Jeanette's here present. Jeanette, we usually require somebody to come up for 15, 20 minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself.
No, I just want to say thank you very much. I've worked for the city for 29 years, and I'm looking forward to more years and just working together with everybody, so I'm very excited and appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's better than 20 minutes.
Save the rest for later, Mr. Mayor?
I think that's about all I got.
Okay. Council, we need to add items 124 of 2025 through 126 of 2025 to tonight's agenda. Can I seek a motion to add these items to the agenda?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Horniak.
so moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Second by Ms. Pauloff. We have a motion by Mr. Horniak, second by Ms. Pauloff. Council, are there any objections? Hearing none, items 124 of 2025 through 126 of 2025 have been added to tonight's agenda. The first item on the agenda for passage is item 120 of 2025, previously presented by Mayor Safarian and Fire Chief Clayton O'Brien. Chief O'Brien, anything to add?
Mr. President, yes, I do.
Thank you.
Mr. President and Council, I just want to provide a little bit of clarification with some questions that kind of came up. With the address being that it's a Michigan-based company, BM BioCare, I just want to provide to make sure that we understand that the members of the fire department don't travel to Michigan for the physicals. This is a mobile truck that does come to the fire department and does the physicals over a 2-day period. The couple things that we had kind of changed in the last year or two is we have the members sign up prior to actually requesting for the amount and doing a PO. So we make sure that we have the correct amount submitted for the PO. And so when they come to a 2-day, but we also try to set up pretty much a health day, if you will. We bring in some representatives from Perrysburg that do a skin test. So they look over all the skin on the firefighters because that's a firefighter known cancer, is skin cancer. I've also contacted our EAP program, and we have an EAP representative that comes and talks to them about financial advising. We get a lot of new young firefighters that this is their first full-time job and, young and raising a family. So that's why we bring in the financial piece. And then we also have them talk about, the EAP talks about the resources that are available with marriage counseling and also just mental health and wellness. And then also annually, all the firefighters have to have their mask fit tested, their face piece to their mask. So we also perform that in-house during that time. So we kind of do this all encompassing, but it is I just wanted to make sure that I was clear. I didn't clarify that last week, that they do come to the fire station and do these physicals.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Council, are there any additional questions on item 120 of 2025? Hearing none, I will assign item 120 of 2025 as ordinance 120 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing the mayor and finance director to enter into a service agreement with BioCare Incorporated, 1778 Holloway Drive, Suite A, Holt, Michigan, for the purpose of providing physicals for the fire department personnel at a cost not to exceed $15,425.
Thank you. Council, what's your
Mr.
pleasure?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Pauloff.
I move for passage of ordinance 120 of 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Pauloff.
Second.
Second by Mr. Salander. We have a motion by Ms. Pauloff, a second by Mr. Salander. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Solander?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 120 of 2025 does pass with 7 yeas, 0 nays. Our next item on the agenda for passage is item 121 of 2025, previously presented by the mayor and our Director of IT, Ken Meister. Mr. Meister?
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing's changed other than what we had last week, but if you do have any questions.
Council, any questions? Hearing none, I will assign item 121 of 2025 as ordinance 121 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing the mayor and finance director to enter into an agreement with Perry Protec, 265 Commerce Parkway, Lima, Ohio, to provide managed network services with the Information Technology Department at a monthly cost of $3,615.50.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council,
Mr. President,
Mrs. Pauloff.
I move for passage of ordinance 121 of 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Pauloff.
Second.
Second by Mr. Horniak. Ms. Snyder, we have a motion by Ms. Pauloff, second by Mr. Horniak. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yay.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Solander?
Yay.
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 121 of 2025 does pass with 7 yeas to 0 nays. Next item on the agenda for passage is item number 122 of 2025, previously presented by Mayor Safarian and our Public Service Director, Mr. Roman. Mr. Roman, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing to add from last week. I did want to let council know that we do plan to also apply for an OPWC grant submittal, which we'll bring in the next week. And this agreement was needed to be in that application eventually. So that was the reason for the emergency. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Council, any additional questions on item 122 of 2025? Hearing none, I will assign item 122 of 2025 as ordinance 122 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation for funding from the Federal Highway Administration for the bid and construction of LUC CR 555 1.02 Star Resurface Project PID 117122 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council,
Mr. President,
Mr. Salander.
I'd like to make a motion for passage of ordinance 122 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Salander. Second by Mr. Wallensack. We have a motion by Mr. Salander, a second by Mr. Wallensack. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Solander?
Yay.
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yay.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 122 of 2025 does pass with 7 yeas, 0 nays. The next item on the agenda for passage is item number 123 of 2025, previously presented by Mayor Safarian and Police Chief Brandon Began. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything else to add about this ordinance, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Council, are there any additional questions on item 123 of 2025?
Mr. President,
Mr. Drake.
I got a question for Mr. Began, Chief Began. The place off Wynn Road, it's I know it's some sort of medical. Could you tell me exactly what they do? I believe it's down by Dennis's house.
Are you talking about PNR?
Yes,
the
I didn't know if
radio
they did the
communications?
same type of work as Eagles does.
They do some of that type of work. We do use them for radio authentication. But we have been using, for the next ordinance, going over the equipment for the vehicles, we've been using DR Evil for many years. We have a good relationship with them. And they outfit the vehicles the way that we need in their state contract pricing.
Okay, thank you.
Council, any further or additional comments? Hearing none. I would assign item 123 of 2025 as ordinance 123 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing the mayor, finance director, and chief of police to enter into an agreement and issue a purchase order to Ballman Ford Oregon, 2811 Navarre Avenue, Oregon, Ohio, for the purchase of one 2025 Ford Interceptor utility all-wheel drive base vehicle to be used by the Oregon Police Division and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Pauloff.
I move for passage of ordinance 123 of 2025.
Thank
as
you,
an-
Ms. Pauloff.
As an emergency measure.
Thank you, Ms. Pauloff.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Salander. We have a motion by Ms. Pauloff, second by Mr. Salander. Ms. Snyder, if you would, please take a roll call vote of council.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Solander?
Yay.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 123 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 7 yeas and 0 nays. The next item on the agenda for consideration and passage is item 124 of 2025, presented by Mayor Safarian and Chief of Police Brandon Began. Chief Began.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did speak briefly on this last week, just letting you guys know that we were bringing it forward. We didn't have the quote until Monday, so it was too late to bring it on for the committee of the whole. But basically, this is the full outfitting of the vehicle from the last ordinance to be used for a K-9 officer. The reason for it being an emergency is because we were able to fit an officer into the training that's coming in September and October through the K-9 kennel. And so because of that, we've had to move forward pretty quickly with the vehicle and outfitting the vehicle. From what we understand of it, we will have the vehicle up and running by the time the officer gets back. So as soon as they get back, they'll be able to perform their K-9 duties on the road.
Thank you, Chief. Council, any questions or concerns? Hearing none, I will assign item 124 of 2025 as ordinance 124 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing the mayor, finance director, and chief of police to issue a purchase order to DR Ebo Police and Fire Equipment, 3203 Woodville Road, Northwood, Ohio, for one 2025 police vehicle equipment purchase and changeover for the Oregon Police Division K-9 unit in a total amount of $38,488.81 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council?
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Pauloff.
I move for passage of ordinance 124 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Ms. Pauloff.
Second.
Mr. Salander? Thank you, Mr. Salander. We have a motion by Ms. Pauloff, second by Ms. Salander. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Solander?
Yay.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 124, 2025 does pass with a vote of 7 yeas, 0 nays. Our next item on the agenda for passage, consideration and passage is item 125 of 2025, presented by Mayor Safarian and our Law Director, Melissa Pepora. Ms. Pepora.
Thank you, Mr. President. This ordinance is needed to accept and agree to participate in the new national opioid settlements with distributors Alvogen, Amneal, Apotex, Hikma, Indivar, Mylan, Sun, and Zydus. As council will recall, you passed ordinance 40 of 2023 in which you agreed to the One Ohio Memorandum of Understanding to participate in the proposed settlement of litigation against the opioid pharmaceutical supply chains and their participation in the opioid epidemic. These distributors have proposed a joint settlement with the state of Ohio in the political subdivisions in which they will pay a maximum of $1.2 billion. The amount that will ultimately go to the state of Ohio in the subdivisions will depend on participation from the political subdivisions. This ordinance is needed to enter into that participation agreement. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Pepora. Council? Hearing no questions, I will assign item 125 of 2025 as ordinance 125 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
An ordinance authorizing recommendation to accept and agree to participate in the new national opioid settlements with distributors Alvogen, Amneal, Apotex, Hikma, Indivar, Mylan, Sun, and Zydus pursuant to the One Ohio Memorandum of Understanding and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder.
Mr. President.
Mr. Wallensack.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for passage of ordinance number 125 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Wallensack.
Second?
Second by Ms. Pauloff. We have a motion by Mr. Wallensack, second by Ms. Pauloff. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Solander?
Yay.
Thank you. Ordinance 125 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 7 yeas, 0 nays. And our next item on the agenda for consideration and passage is item number 126 of 2025, presented by Mayor Safarian and our Law Director, Melissa Pepora. Ms. Pepora, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Similar to the prior ordinance, this ordinance is needed to accept and agree to participate in the national opioid settlements with the distributors Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family. These distributors have proposed a joint settlement agreement in which the state of Ohio is recommending acceptance of. The distributors will pay a $7.4 billion settlement to participating states and local governments, which will receive up to $198 million from the agreement over the next 15 years. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Pepora. Council? Hearing no additional questions, I will assign item 126 of 2025 as ordinance 126 of 2025, and ask Ms. Sider to please read it into the record.
An ordinance authorizing recommendation to accept and agree to participate in the new national opioid settlements with distributors Purdue Pharma LP and Sackler family pursuant to the One Ohio Memorandum of Understanding and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council, need a motion, please.
Mr. President.
Mr. Wallensack.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for passage of ordinance number 126 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Wallensack.
Second?
Second by Ms. Pauloff. We have a motion by Mr. Wallensack, second by Ms. Pauloff. Ms. Snyder, would you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes.
Mr. Solander?
Yay.
Thank you. Ordinance 126 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 7 yeas, 0 nays. Having considered all the items on the agenda this evening, we will now continue with the mayor's report if he has any.
Just a couple announcements. The Sheets grand opening is tomorrow. Ribbon cutting at 10:45. And also they have the Heroes and Hot Rods on August 3rd at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Just those for announcement. That ends my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Major.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of items. Mr. Drake, I had put a list of the city-owned properties for you. If anybody wants a copy of it, just let me know. I can email it out. I did put some notes on there just for reference of what the properties are used for. There was a request to update everybody on Boomfest donations. We do have $50,500 on Boomfest donations. We are.
51,000.
Oh, $51,500 and.
51,000.
Oh, it's 51 even, okay. $51,000, so with the $42,000 that we have budgeted, we have enough, but we are expecting a few more of the donations to come in. Mr. Roman does have a list of the donations that came in. The last item I have is that I have seen a lot of people and have gotten some phone calls about the energy, the Toledo Edison bills that people have been receiving. If you recall, last year we had this discussion and carried over into this year, but we are part of the Northwest Ohio Aggregate Coalition. There are 15 different entities that are a part of this. And we contract with Palmer Energy to bid out our aggregate energy pricing. And for the prior year, we had Energy Harbor as our provider. And Energy Harbor had a fixed price of 6.3 cents per kilowatt hour. In the new billing cycle, when they bid this out, the cheapest price that they could get from Dynegy was 9.75 cents per kilowatt hour for a 12-month term. That started in the June billing cycle, so people are starting to see the increase in the pricing from the in their July bills. So that is across the country right now, energy prices are going up. It's not just the cost of the energy, but also the capacity charges that get added onto the bills as well. So we are getting a lot of questions about it, but Dynegy's pricing is cheaper than what First Energy provides at this time. So they did bid it out. It is cheaper, but people can shop around. In the 24 years that, or however many years that Sandy was, that we were part of this and Sandy Garverick was doing this, Sandy had said she'd never seen where people were able to shop around and get it cheaper than the aggregate. But I'm not saying that it can't happen. I do have a fact sheet for everybody too. I'll email this out to all the council members so you have a copy of this. Just kind of ask questions and gives answers to the aggregation supply information. So that's what I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Major. Ms. Pepora?
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Pepora. Mr. Roman?
Thank you, Mr. President. I had nothing. I don't, Joel, did talk about Harvest House? Did you mention that? Or? We'll wait till that. Oh, okay, okay. All right, the only other thing I had was EnviroSafe. There's an EPA meeting at the Maycomer Lodge this Wednesday at 5:30 regarding the EnviroSafe modification to their permit. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Mr. Horniak?
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Mrs. Pauloff?
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Pauloff. Mr. Wallenczak?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak. Ms. Ackerman?
Mr. Roman took my announcement, so thank you, but that's fine, as long as it gets out there. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ackerman. Mr. Salander?
No report from my standing committee. I just wanted to thank the police department for doing the blood drive. That was very nice this last time, and it's coming back in September 24th. So I've already got my appointment down, so get signed up. Let's do it. Thanks. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Salander. Mr. Drake?
No report from my committee. Just a couple things I want to bring up. I was at the senior center last week, talking with the seniors there, and I noticed the flagpole looks like it could either be replaced, maybe repainted. The top part looks like it's broke. And I talked to a couple of the seniors there, and there's a lot of veterans that go there, and I know a flagpole to me, should be taken care of along with the flag, shouldn't be flying tattered. The flag looked fine. But I just wanted to throw that out. I was gonna let Mr. Roman know that today, but he was in a meeting. Same thing, the potholes, I know that's held up in court there by Key Bank. I did another grand tour of the Taj Mahal police end. I think it was early in the week or last week. It's still dungy, dirty. I know there was wet tiles, moldy, looked like mold to me. Also, I remember going to the zoo when I was a kid, the monkey cages and the tiger cages smelled like urine. There was a few areas, I don't know if it was from a sewer or what it was from, but the smell was very, very bad. And then something else too, and I'm not picking on, it's mainly out east of Oregon. I remember we talked about it for 3 meetings. And I know Keith isn't here. I noticed there was mowing. It was passed that whoever owns the property between the curb along Route 2 and the fields, whoever owns the field, it's their responsibility to mow that. However, I voted against that because I know we've been doing it for years and change is sometimes tough for people. And today on my way, I noticed the street department was mowing there again today. And like I said, I have nothing against them doing it because I voted in favor of them to do it, but it kind of comes back to what I brought up last week. We have ordinances we passed, and we passed it that whoever owned that property was supposed to mow it, but we're doing it anyway. So, it's one of them things, like I said last week, why are we going to have all these ordinances if we're not going to enforce them? So I don't know if something has changed or You know, I know the city's probably got more to worry about than that, but we spent 3 meetings talking about that, I remember. And I don't remember who else voted against it. I might have been the only one, but it just doesn't make sense.
Mr. President. if I may.
Mr. Major.
Just to respond to that real quick. So there was a miscommunication internally about getting some of the notices sent out to the property owners, letting them know that it's their responsibility to mow it. So we're sending the notices out. But I'm not sure exactly where you're talking about, but it could be that they're under orders right now too. They may have gotten notices and we might be doing it as a nuisance mowing. I'm not really sure, but I have to take a look into it. But from here on out, when we send the notices out, they're going to be responsible for doing the mowing. So
Okay.
we've been trying to give people a little bit of leeway because, like you said, change is hard. It's a different approach. So we're trying to give people as much leeway as we can. And but from here on out, if it's still overgrown, then they'll be cited for it.
Okay, and another area, it's the creek, I forget the name of the creek. It's by Little Caesar's Pizza, heading into Toledo. There's a creek there, Otter Creek, and they got them pretty purple weeds between the sidewalk and the road, and even in the base of it. I mean, nobody's mowed that. I call them wire weeds. It's just a nuisance also. So I know there's a lot of weeds everywhere, but like I said, we live in a city, not a township. So hopefully some of these can be taken care of. What's that? Yeah, they're beautiful.
Mr. Drake, are those the ones on Wheeling?
No, that's on Star Avenue.
Oh, the ones on Wheeling are pretty bad there too. No, it's
Just down from Lee
between-
Williams. towards
Between
Toledo.
Seaman and Star.
And then also too, I drove through some of the subdivisions today. I know Old Eastmoreland, I drove through there. 702 Grasser Street. I know they had some pretty deep holes in there. I know the street department's been filling them, and I didn't know if there was any talk of patchwork, you know, in certain sections like New Eastmoreland, and even Old, there's a long section of, I mean, it looks like a washboard. So I didn't know if there was anything in the works of, you know, repairing the roads or just waiting, you know, another year or two or whatever. I know, you know, the cold patch works, but it's almost like having BO and you just put cologne on or perfume. It's not gonna go away till you use soap and water. So obviously, Paul, Mr. Roman knows that hot mix works a lot better than cold patch.
Yeah, Mr. President, I like to use dental analogies for filling a cavity, you know, it's better to drill it out and fill it, you know, versus putting something on an old cavity. No, the street department, they're doing a great job of doing more than just pothole filling. In some cases, they're doing small mill and fill, and they did that in Flow and Flights, and they did a great job. And I want them to do more of it. I think, yeah, we're just trying to keep up. If you see a pothole, let us know. You know, I mean, I do want the supervisors out driving the roads, of course, and keeping track of things. And you know, sometimes you see something, you forget to say something, but remind us, you know, it doesn't hurt. And I want to do as much as I can. You know, there was comments on Facebook regarding Star Avenue, and I did chime in and explain that we do have a big project coming up. That doesn't mean we don't try to get by with what we have and try to fill it in the best we can, and until the project happens, then you do it right. But, you know, it doesn't mean you can't still try to fill it in. So, and I know it's not pretty sometimes when we'll try to put in hot mix rather than just cold patch. Again, it's not pretty, but if it lasts a year, and it's better than nothing, you know, so that's
Yeah.
it.
I know a lot of the cold patch has been used in New Eastmoreland. And, you know, it's one of them things, and, you know, Paul, with the snow, and I know it's not snowing now, but even the rain we had today, you know, them little pebbles, it just breaks up, disintegrates, and you got rocks all over, and, you know, I know there's no other than a hot mix that's gonna fix it. And, I mean, there's areas all over. And, I mean, even coming from Toledo on Star Avenue up, there's like 2 or 3 that are just, I mean, they'll chatter your teeth. So I'm just bringing that up. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Drake. I have nothing from my standing committee, but we do have further business before council. We're gonna get an update, on the Hollydale Avenue and Wheeling Street. Is that, Mr. Major?
Thank you, Mr. President. So, excuse me. On previous meeting, Economic Development Committee meeting, we were discussing the notion of extending Hollydale, where it's being extended right now, where Seven Brew's going, the old Freeway Plaza. Hollydale is being extended to the edge of the property where currently the shed is. And there is a buyer that's lined up for the shed property. They would prefer not to, just kind of recapping, they would prefer not to extend Hollydale and retain that property for themselves for parking. So if the city were to pursue it, we would have to, acquire it through other means, whether it be through negotiations or some other way, like an eminent domain type of situation. But at this time, they did, the owner, or I should say, the proposed buyer for the parcel has expressed that right now they would prefer not to sell it, and they would, but if we were to negotiate with them, they would accept $90,000 for that right-of-way at this time, but would also hold, long-term, hold a price of $120,000 for that, for 3 years. We came back with something to try to get that lowered as much as we could. We kind of threw out the number of $45,000 to acquire that property. But they said that's just simply not enough for them to make it worth it for them. They would just rather have the parking for it. So that's kind of where it stands right now, is that's their offer right now at this point is $90,000. It's about as simple as that. So it's, the decision is, do we want to acquire that right away for future road development or forego at this time? Mr. Roman, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, it's just so hard. You just don't know what the future's gonna bring to the east of that site. It's a shame to not try to acquire it, but at the same time, when you don't know what's gonna occur to the east, it's hard to hold that. It's hard to spend that money right now. And yeah, I mean, we offered the $45,000, and then we said, hey, what if we do the plat map? And we tried to do some in-kind work to help cut the deal and maybe not assess them for any road work, but they still have that preference not to even sell it. I mean, they don't want to sell it at all, so that's where it stands. I just think at this point, it's a shame, but I guess my suggestion is that we don't proceed and let it go as they wish. They still have to they still have to split the property. I think what they're proposing to do is gonna be a great development, and I do wish them the best for it. I think the city will be happy with their development. But that's it. So that's my viewpoint.
Thank you, Mr. Major. Anything further? Okay, thank you, Mr. Roman. If there's no further business before council, I seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Second by Ms. Pauloff.